Hi everybody, welcome again to Her Conscious Life. I tell you, the holidays were great and I've been doing a lot of reading, and one book that I have really enjoyed is called Foundations of Truth by Mary Elizabeth Fields. Again, Foundations of Truth by Mary Elizabeth Fields. It's been a really great book that really talks about what this thing called truth with a capital T is all about. She really talks about who we are as a species. It sounds religious, but for me, it's truly spiritual. She focuses on our authentic selves, our purpose for being, and the fact that we are children of the divine, that there's work for us to do while we're here, and it's not just about striving and getting the material things, and it's not just about the benchmarks of a so-called successful life, but it's about the learning and edification of our soul. And that resonates with me. To me, that is what consciousness is all about. It's mindfulness, a wakefulness about our journey in our day-to-day actions, becoming more mindful about the choices we're making and choosing from a higher perspective instead of from the status quo or our impulsive actions, about really making those higher level choices that help us build a more fulfilling, satisfying, and meaningful, I say, meaningful life. It's an awesome book. She talks about recognizing the Christ as the divine attribute that indwells every individual. To me, that's consciousness. It's realizing who and what we really are. And instead of playing small in the world and making our choices from a place of fear, I better take this, I better do that, that's what everybody does, that's the way it's done around here, really taking the time to take a deep breath and search within and find out what it is you really wish to express and to be in the world, having the courage to live and be from your authentic self. So that's what I really enjoyed about this book. There are several quotes in the book that really stood out, resonated as truth for me. Here's one that I really enjoyed. She says, "Man cannot gain or lose on this planet. He can only grow." To me, that's all about consciousness. As a species, it seems to me that we do make a lot of our living about winning and losing, whether we've made it or we've not made it, whether we've achieved or not achieved. It really is about growth. In the midst of the circumstances of my life, how have I behaved? It's almost like the quote in the Bible. You know, when I was a child, I dealt with childish things. But now as I mature and become an adult, I've got to deal with the substance of things. And so, to me, that's what consciousness is about. So as we make our day-to-day decisions, let's make them from a place of wholeness. So I think recognizing the divine within us and meditating on that and choosing to make decisions from that place instead of from this small, fearful, worldly place changes things dramatically. I think that's what conscious evolution is all about. And we can see it. In early man, it seems we were more brutish in our interactions with one another. From a place of fear, you're going to take my substance, you're going to take my dwelling, you're going to take my food. And so I will make sure that you don't by inflicting harm or pain or pushing you away. Well, we can make a different choice now. We can understand that we are given gifts and talents from our divine source that we can use in the world to acquire resources that help us live our day-to-day lives. And I don't think there's an end to those gifts and talents as long as we embrace them and share them with others. So I can share some of what I have with you because there will be more. To me, that's a conscious mindset, as opposed to I'm going to hoard all that I have and you better stay away because there isn't enough here for the both of us. So that's an element of consciousness. It just is. I have to say, the other day, in modern terms, I was driving on the highway and I just felt myself, I was a really aggressive driver. For some reason, I just didn't want anyone to get in front of me in my lane. And I felt a call. I felt a voice within that said, hey, what's going on here? What is it to you that this person wants to merge in front of you and get ahead of you? Why is it a problem? And from that, I could coach my lesser self to say it's okay. Give that person space and allow them room to get in front of you. Nothing is lost in the doing of that. So that's just a small example of consciousness. I've just had so many things happen over the holiday season where I felt that I was operating on autopilot. Maybe things weren't going my way and the day wasn't sorting out the way that I wanted it to, and I could feel that almost instinctively and impulsively, I was getting a little frustrated and anxious and ready to get a little sassy. And I thought, hey, I'm okay. So what if we don't go to this particular restaurant? So what if at 2 o'clock we don't end up over at my Aunt Pam's house? It's okay. Let it be. And as I did that and opened up, instead of having that internal dialogue about what's going on and so is always getting their way, I could just rest in the peace of the day and the joy of sharing time with people I don't often get to see and have a great time. So to me, those are the makings and the beginnings of a conscious life, a conscious walk in life. And it just gets higher and higher from there. From that small decision to let that person in front of me on the highway and to not have to have my way in the course of the day and the actions of the day, I can begin to make larger decisions that affect my day-to-day happiness. And that's what consciousness is all about. So I'm going to end there, but just some things to think about. Maybe sit down and think about how taking a deep breath in the midst of your day and asking, how can I be more allowing? How can I be more loving? That's the big part of consciousness. How can I allow others to be exactly as they are without judging, condemning, blaming, and without a loss of love? And that's the beginnings. That's the beginning of taking that conscious walk and blossoming a life into one that is fulfilling and satisfying. So I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear more suggestions. Let's just take maybe the baby steps first about how to implement and allow more consciousness in our day-to-day walk. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks for tuning in to Her Conscious Life.